Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session on the Merit Shine channel, and it's an absolute delight to be in front of all of you. And I hope all of you had a fantastic Dashera, a festival which celebrates the victory of the good over the evil. Now in our day-to-day existence, what is this evil that I'm talking about, that we need to win over, that we need to defeat? So that evil is basically that lack of intent, that lack of focus, lack of effort sometimes, either due to laziness or due to procrastination, and most importantly, that lack of self-belief. That is the evil that we need to overcome. So many of you would be joining us for the launch of the new batch for the SBI PO and IBPS PO tomorrow. And obviously through the course of that batch itself, we will definitely try to help you overcome some of those inner demons, of course, with a lot of effort from your side as well. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is basically the culmination of an year-on-year event that happens in our lives, and it has been happening for over a decade now, which is basically the culmination of the IPL 2021. And what are the top 5 lessons that we can draw from IPL 2021? And if you stay on till the end of the video, there is an additional bonus lesson as well waiting for you. So let's try and look at the first lesson that came through. And this is something which is an often heard saying, but was quite beautifully exemplified by the 2 IPL finalists. It says, where there is a will, there is always a way. जहां चाह है वहां कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ ना कुछ करके राह जरूर मिल जाएगी. So the context is, when I talk about the runners up yesterday, KKR, they had a terrible first half of the IPL. And when they moved into UAE, it was very important that they win a majority of their matches, right? And obviously, they definitely had that very clear in their mind that if they were targeting to reach the playoffs, this is something that they will have to do. And how beautifully they did that. 7 wins out of 9, and that was a phenomenal achievement in that what kind of team effort that was required, and they pooled in all their resources and they had that will and they achieved it. Now talking about the winners yesterday, they were called the Dad's Army. Way back in 2020 when they had a disastrous run, and for the first time they did not even make it to the second stage of the IPL, which is the playoffs, and it was the first time ever in the history of CSK playing that they missed the playoffs. And at that point of time, all of them were being talked about as Dad's Army, बूढ़े लोग हैं, कहीं नहीं जा पाएंगे, कहीं नहीं जीत पाएंगे. And with just some minor tweaks and changes, the same team comes back, and they had that will, because at the end of that season their captain said that we will bounce back, and there was a will and they found a way, right? So the same is going for you guys as well who are preparing for your exams. If you have that will, whatever may be happening around you, there will always be a way that you can actually find out. So that's lesson number 1. Now moving on to lesson number 2, which is again something very, very interesting. And it is related to a gentleman by the name Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Again, very, very important that you understand in the context of what happened in that game against the Delhi Capitals, right? It was a crunch situation. CSK required a good number of runs to be scored in the last few overs. Now, technically speaking, you could have said that there was no need for Dhoni to come in to basically take strike. He could have sent in Jadeja or Bravo to come in ahead of him, and they could have done the job as well. But as a captain, he decided to take that ownership, take that responsibility, right? He was not in a great nick up till that point of time. He was not scoring runs. So when you take ownership, there are 2 things that come with you, right? If you win, you get the accolades. But if you lose, you have to face the brickbats. अगर जीते तो बढ़िया, अगर हारे तो पूरी दुनिया आपको कोसेगी, right? So he took that ownership, and most importantly, when you take ownership, you need to have that self-belief that you can do it, you can pull it off, right? So the most important thing that of anything that we do in our lives is, the first step is to take ownership, take accountability. अगर कुछ हासिल करना है तो उसकी ownership लेना बहुत जरूरी है कि हाँ, I can do it and I will give it absolutely everything that is required. So you have to take ownership, and you have to bear that anything that happens, the consequences is something that you have to face, be it good or be it bad, right? So you have to take decisions, you have to take ownership. And once you've taken that ownership, have that faith in your ability, have that faith, that self-belief that you can actually achieve what you've set out to achieve. And that was beautifully exemplified by Mahendra Singh Dhoni in that particular game, wherein he came in ahead of some of his other players who were actually doing well in that tournament. He wasn't in a great nick, but he came, He took ownership because obviously if he had failed, then everyone would have criticized him as to what was the need for him to come. उनको आने की क्या जरूरत थी, किसी और प्लेयर को भेज देते. But उन्होंने ownership लिया. He came and he had that self-belief to pull off and he achieved the result, right? So which is where even in your exams, you have to take ownership of your preparation. If you're preparing well, the success will be yours. And if you're failing to prepare well, that consequence is also something that you have to face. And once you've taken that ownership, have that self-belief that if you put in consistent efforts, you will get the results and you will be able to deliver. So that's lesson number 2 coming in from the man himself, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Now talking about the third important life lesson that you can derive from IPL 2021, it is not over till it is actually over. Right? And I can give you 2 possible examples of this on the positive as well as on the negative side. So one was the example of Avesh Khan, and this was basically the match between your Delhi Capitals versus your Royal Challengers Bangalore. And it was the final over that Avesh Khan was bowling. And basically even before the over was completed, he kind of believed that yaar ye to nahi maar payenge, they will not be able to score these runs, and he started laughing in the middle of the over as if to mock the batsman. And you know what the end result was, that on the last ball a sixer was basically hit by Shrikar Bharat and RCB actually ended up winning that game. So till the time that last ball is bowled, till the time that last minute of the exam is over, do not get complacent, because it is not over till it is actually over. And on the other side, when you look at it, it almost looked like KKR is going to lose that match against Delhi Capitals in that last over when Ravi Kumar was bowling and Rahul Tripathi was actually facing the ball. And it almost looked like DC might be able to pull it off. They might be actually able to win. But Rahul Tripathi had some other ideas and he finished off the match with that 6, and KKR ended up qualifying for the final. Right, so it almost looked like when KKR was losing so many wickets around them, Rahul Tripathi could have also lost his head and basically lost his wicket in the process. But he decided to stick on, and he realized that it is not over till it's actually over, and he was ready to back his abilities, and he went on till that last minute. He just hung on till the last moment with all the wickets falling on around him, and he was able to achieve success for his team, that is KKR. So on the negative side, it is not over till it is actually over, which means that do not get complacent in the exam or even in the preparation till the last minute. And similarly, it is not over till it is actually over on the positive side. So even if you have not done anything till now, even if you have struggled in your preparation till now, even if on the day of the exam the things are not going great for you at the beginning, it is not over till it is actually over. And if you put in those kind of efforts consistently and hang in there till the end, you will definitely achieve your result. Just remember, it is not over till it is actually over. So do not get complacent and just hang in there till the end. So that is lesson number 3 for you guys. Now the fourth important lesson that you can derive from IPL 2021 is this one, right? And this is again a very interesting lesson, right? So the past doesn't matter and the future is like too far away. Seize the moment, my friend. Seize the moment today. You talk about the past doesn't matter. Biggest example could be Suresh Raina. He was probably one of the most prolific batsmen in the IPL and also known for his amazing fielding skills throughout the early part of the IPL seasons that we've had so far. And Chennai had to take that decision wherein they had to basically bench him and bring in Robin Uthappa, because the past does not really matter. It is what you do in that moment that matters. So you may have achieved great successes in the past. Doesn't matter, right? Or you could be a Venkatesh Iyer. You've not done anything in your life till now, and this is the first time that you're basically coming into this kind of a massive fold, and you've proven your skills against the best of the world, right? So the past doesn't matter. Whether the past was good, whether the past was bad, it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist, because what matters is now, this today. Even the future doesn't hold good. Who cares about IPL 2022 when you're actually playing IPL 2021? So IPL 2021 matters, not IPL 2022. IPL 2022 तो बाद में matter करेगा ना. अभी क्या matter करता है, जो है आज का moment. So whatever your past may have been, whether it was good or whether it was bad, whether you've had great successes in the past, whether you have great failures in the past, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do today. So seize today's moments, my friends. Capture these moments and achieve the results that you desire. And if you put in the hard work today, the results will definitely come and the future will take care of itself, right? So that is lesson number 4 from the IPL. And moving on to lesson number 5, and this is again something which is very, very interesting. Now, despite the best effort sometimes, if you still don't win, then you need to keep at it, because मेरे दोस्तों, picture abhi baki hai. The movie is yet to get over, right? And why is this context I'm talking about? Talk about KL Rahul. What a phenomenal season that he had personally. Talk about Harshal Patel, purple cap holder in terms of the leading number of wickets he took, right? But RCB could not qualify for the finals. And again, when I talk about KL Rahul, what a phenomenal season with the bat, right? So 626 runs that he scored at a phenomenal strike rate and an average as well, but he couldn't make it. So you did everything that you could, you did everything right, but sometimes the outcome does not come in the way that you were anticipating or you were expecting. And that can happen, my friends. But does it mean that you give up at that point of time? Absolutely not, right? Because that is the time when you need to keep at it, keep going forward, because it is going to happen. At some point of time, the results will come if you actually have a good process that you're following. If you keep at it, the results will come even if they did not come the way you were planning today, right? So despite best efforts, if you still don't win, keep at it, because मेरे दोस्तों, picture abhi baki hai. The movie is yet to get over, right? And now comes that last bonus lesson that all of you were eagerly waiting for, right? So how many of you are actually great fans of IPL, right? So honestly speaking, I'm not a huge fan of the IPL, but I am a huge fan of cricket, right? And if you basically end up taking our course that is getting launched tomorrow, you'll get a lot of these cricket related anecdotes also as part of some of the sessions that we keep doing, because most of us in the group in Merit Shine are cricket fans. So we keep giving in some examples from that sense. If you're joining the batch tomorrow, you will definitely get to hear a lot of those things. But what I want you to introspect and think is, if you're not a fan of IPL, you may be a fan of some other sport or some other thing that you may be watching on a day-to-day basis, right? And I want you to just think, how much time have you spent on watching that serial, sitcom, sports event, whatever it is, right? Just think of how much time you spent on watching it. And if it is the IPL, of course, how much time did you spend on watching the IPL, right? Now, what I want you to think after this is, एक तो आप कैलकुलेट करो कितना टाइम आपने उस पर स्पेंड किया, चाहे वो IPL हो या कोई स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट हो या कोई और चीज हो जिसपे आपने टाइम स्पेंड किया हो. जस्ट कैलकुलेट कितने घंटे खर्च किए या कितना दिन खर्च किया उस पर. जस्ट थिंक ऑफ दैट, राइट? नाउ थिंक ऑफ इट, व्हाट वाज द रिजल्ट और द आउटकम दैट यू गॉट आउट ऑफ इट. ठीक है, जीता कौन? चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स. चलो ठीक है, कम बैक सुपर किंग्स एंड ऑल दैट यू मे कॉल देम. ठीक है, दे वन द इवेंट, राइट? MSD एंड हिज टीम वन द इवेंट. आपने घंटे खर्च किए, आपको क्या मिला उससे, right? So this was a lesson that my mother taught me several years ago, and I used to be a huge fan of Michael Schumacher in Formula 1 and again Sachin Tendulkar in cricket. And I was such a huge fan that कभी भी माइकल शूमाकर का रेस होता था तो मैं पूरा एक भी मिनट अपनी जगह से हिलता नहीं था, and I used to watch that race completely. Similarly, जब भी सचिन तेंदुलकर बैटिंग करते थे तो मैं पूरा का पूरा उनका इनिंग्स देखता था, हिलता नहीं था जगह से, right? And my mother told me, ठीक है यार, तुम सचिन के फैन हो, you're a fan of Michael Schumacher, great, fantastic, you feel happy when they achieve success, but if you fail, will they feel sorry for you? If you do not achieve your goals, will they feel sorry for you? Will CSK come and give you the remuneration in case you don't pass your exam? Will CSK get you the job? Will KKR get you the job? No. Right? हमारी लाइफ हमारे हाथ में है बॉस. Right? Our lives is in our hands. Right? So the amount of time that we're spending on watching someone else win, just imagine if we had spent that time on making ourselves capable enough of winning, where we could have reached, right? And someday, somewhere down the line, there is a possibility आप इतना success achieve कर लो कि आपके success को देखने के लिए लोग आपको follow करना शुरू करें. Right? And that is what we are going to strive and achieve, right? So it's not about Michael Schumacher, it's not about Sachin Tendulkar achieving the success, but it is about you wasting time on watching their success. वो successful हो रहे हैं, आप खुश होइए, कोई बात नहीं उसमें, there is nothing wrong in that, and obviously you can look at them as idols as well. But why do I have to waste every single minute of my productive time in watching them win? I can always read that in the news next day and again feel motivated, right? पूरा का पूरा दिन उस पर निकालने की क्या जरूरत है, राइट? अगर वही वक्त, that same time, if you're spent on yourself, on growing yourself, you would be able to achieve great degree of success in your own lives, right? So have role models, have people that you're actually following and get motivated by their success. Absolutely. And that should happen, right? Because that's what triggers you or makes you believe that you can also do it. But do not waste your time in watching them succeed by looking at every single ball that they're facing, every single minute of the match that they're playing, and every single sitcom or that movie that you're watching. It's not going to get you anywhere, right? So utilize that time on making yourself successful. Be a little selfish, right? दूसरों का सक्सेस अच्छी चीज है, उसको फॉलो भी करना चाहिए, रोल मॉडल्स भी बनाने चाहिए उसमें से, बट अपना सक्सेस अपने हाथ में है. सो इन्वेस्ट whatever time that you have in yourself. Follow others, have role models, be happy about their success, but don't waste time actually watching every single match, every single movie, or every single sitcom that is there. Instead, invest that time in yourself and you'll be able to see tremendous results for yourself, right? So on that note, this is Ravi signing off, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session with some more interesting anecdotes or concepts. Until then, have a great day and a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. See you guys.